Right. 25 September 2024. And today I'm very excited to be giving you my evening update. And normally we do this in the evening so that we can get clarity on everything that is happening around Zimbabwe. And today I've got a massive story. Something has happened that is unexpected, but that is very interesting. And that is, we've got more clarity on why Mnangagwa did not go to the United Nations current summit that is taking place. And it was not because he was busy. It is because his wife, Auxilia, was denied a visa or denied access to the USA. So what has happened is that today we saw all the first ladies of other countries in New York, but Auxilia Mnangagwa was represented by the Minister of Tourism, Barbara, here. So it is clear that once again, Auxilia Mnangagwa has been denied the visa to go to the United States. You remember that earlier this year, she had to be represented by her daughter-in-law over there in the United States. And this time around, she has once again been denied a visa. And this has angered Mnangagwa to the point that he did not go as a form or some form of boycott. So it's clear what has happened. Auxilia Mnangagwa has not been allowed to travel to the United States. And this is in spite of all the lies that they've been spreading, that the United States is now engaging with the Mnangagwa government. I never believed it for a second that the United States of America would ignore the fact that there are currently 66 people in jail in Zimbabwe, activists of the opposition that have been arrested without trial for over 90 days. And I'm sure that it's clear now to everyone what is happening. The Mnangagwa government has not managed to convince the USA that they are a right partner or the correct partner to deal with because of what they are doing, the human rights abuses that they're currently participating in Zimbabwe. And to top it up, you all know that Mnangagwa and Auxilia are currently on sanctions. So those are the only two heads of states from any country that are currently on sanctions. So it's clear what has happened. And this must be very embarrassing for Auxilia Mnangagwa to be denied a visa and to be staying in Zimbabwe while Barbara is reading her speech. So Barbara had to read her speech today. So that is a very important thing that has happened today. And today I'm going to keep it very, very short. I want to take a short time because I'm still here to come here in the morning to give you another update. Then the second story that I've got is what is happening in Harare, and all shops or most big shops in Harare have run out of goods due to the fake zig. The situation with the fake zig has reached another level. Major retailers or supermarkets are failing to stock up, and we're starting to see shortages of goods in the shops, and people are not able to buy where they normally buy. Now they have to go to tax shops, where the tax shops are using the US dollar as pricing, whereas the supermarkets are using a controlled price. So there's a controlled price in the supermarkets. The supermarkets have tried to increase the prices, but they've gotten to a point where it's just ridiculous. And they've just stopped buying or ordering or restocking. They're no longer restocking. And we're now facing a 2008 situation. Like Professor Gift Mgano has said, this is terrible. What is happening in Zimbabwe? The fake zig is now causing problems for everyone. And we're yet to see the worst. But I'm expecting an announcement very, very shortly regarding this situation. This is very, very bad. What is happening in Zimbabwe? The exchange rate situation has reached another level. Currently, the ZiG is trading over 40, 1:40, whereas the exchange rate, the official exchange rate is around 1:13 or 1:14. So it's a terrible situation which has caused these massive shortages because it's just not sustainable for the shops. Then in terms of Bishop Nyamakanga, I am very happy to say Bishop Nyamakanga is out, and I am so happy that he has managed to put out a video or in audio today. So if you go to his platforms, Bishop Nyamakanga has now managed to put out an audio, and you are welcome to go to his platforms and watch everything or listen to everything that he's saying. Almost 60 days in jail without charges. This is a record breaker. He's the only man in Zimbabwe who has ever been arrested and kept in jail with no charges. Bishop Nyamakanga was not charged with anything. They were just keeping him in jail in Kurubi maximum security prison with no charges. And his name was just added to the name of Jacob Ngaruvume. And I don't even know what has happened to Jacob Ngaruvume, because he was not being charged with anything. He never appeared in court facing any charges, and they've just let him go. The current situation that is there in Zimbabwe, these are the human rights abuses that I'm talking about. And I'm going to try to share with the guys in the group the actual audio of what Bishop Nyamakanga has said. And then I want to end with our interesting Mumve. So the guys who want to buy Mumve, we now have stock. I will let you know where to collect your stock of the Mumve powder. So it's going to be extra 100 grams. So for the guys who are in South Africa, it's going to be $25 for 100 grams to your door. And for the guys in the United Kingdom, it's going to be $25 to buy it. And then you pay your own shipping. So if you want to move there and you want to find out what can happen to you, what are your potentials, you are welcome to WhatsApp me on that number. This is an amazing product. It can do amazing things for you. And I just want you guys to try it for 30 days. So I've gone to a supplier today and they've provided us with 10 bags. So we only have 10 bags of this thing. And if you WhatsApp that number, then we're going to give it to you. The payment methods are over here at fumojena.com. You just make your payment, if you're in South Africa, of $25 equivalent. If you're in the UK, you pay $25 to reserve, and then we'll do your shipping for you. We'll discuss shipping together. So this is amazing stuff. And I've got more stories to tell you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. as we continue to cover stories around our country. This is an amazing country. Zimbabwe is an amazing country. We're going to do very, very well. But first, Mnangagwa must be gone before we do well. The future of our country is in the hands of a few people, and those few people include you and me. High-speed rail. We need to make sure that our people don't spend so much time waiting around. Zimbabweans spend all their time waiting around. Goods don't move. Things don't work. It's so hard to move from Harare to Victoria Falls. Who do you think is going to develop that country? It's so hard to move from Harare to Bulawayo. It takes days. And what you need is a new approach to governance. And high-speed rail is the way to go. So we're going to be talking about high-speed rail. We're going to be talking about planned cities. And we're going to be talking about a military planned city. 2 soldiers, 2 houses for each soldier. So each soldier must have 2 houses. One in the rural areas, one in town, and he must be living in a planned city where there is an engineering corps, not what we are seeing today. So we want to make sure that it's clear where we're going, a very interesting period that we're going into within the next 5 weeks, as I always said to you. So very, very important for us to stay on top of the game. We should not lose focus on what is important and what needs to be done. So as I said to you, and I'm going to be repeating this story for a very, very long time. The apostolic churches, which is the apostolic churches where Wicknell goes, have issued a warning to any member not to take money from Wicknell. A prophecy has been issued that Wicknell and the guys in the United States, that is Anna Rick Ross, they are involved in a certain activity. And Wicknell has been contaminated with that activity. And they say that there is something right now that is happening to Wicknell, and people must not take money from him. That is a prophecy that was issued last week. And I'm going to repeat it for a while so that you guys understand, and Chivayo is aware of that prophecy that was issued by his church, that people must not take his money because he has been inducted into the kingdom of darkness by Rick Ross. So I don't know what Rick Ross has done. Maybe they made P. Diddy, but they said Rick Ross. So that is the prophecy on Wicknell. He's chewing right now in his own fat, and we'll see what happens as time moves, because they're saying, Kuti, there is something that is entered his blood and it's going to manifest very, very soon. Very interesting when you listen to those guys from the apostolic churches. They don't mess around. They don't beat about the bush. They just go straight to the point. And if we know things, I don't have the actual video. I do have it. I just don't want to share it because the people who gave me said I mustn't share it. So let's recap and let's make this interesting. We say that Auxilia Mnangagwa has been denied entry into the United States once again. This is the second time this year that Auxilia Mnangagwa has not been allowed to go into the United States. And this is because she's under sanctions. And also her husband, Mnangagwa, is under sanctions. So I do not know if Mnangagwa was now reacting with the boycott. But what has happened is that today, Barbara has read the speech on behalf of Auxilia Mnangagwa. And she was not present when all the other first ladies were there. The first lady of Botswana did very, very well. Even some first ladies from, I think, Eswatini were over there, but she was not there. And it's not true that the United States is finding Mnangagwa suddenly an interesting person and Zimbabwe a good investment destination. The country is not ready. And we are yet to see more, probably more sanctions slapped on Mnangagwa, just to make sure that he stops the human rights abuses. We still have 66 people in jail. These people have been in jail for over 90 days for no crime, for gathering for a braai or a cookout at the house of Timber. And they've been in jail since 16 June. So there is no country in the whole world that is democratic, that is going to associate themselves with someone who does such a thing. Right, I think it's been clear. I'll see you again in the morning, 5 a.m. every day. We'll give you the trending stories from all the press from around the world. And remember, we've got people right now from the rural areas. They don't get news because they're in the villages. So when I send out a video, please send it to the rural areas, guys, especially in the mornings. We are going to eventually have a short 5 minutes news roundup just for the rural audiences so that they can know what has happened during the day. So normally we'll put that around midday or later in the evening so that they can get to understand. We have a new audience that is coming in Zimbabwe due to Starlink. People that have never seen the internet. We now need to create new products, new solutions for these people that are now on the internet, that do not know Gambabwe, that do not know Chafuta, that do not know five something, and all the other channels that don't know Bishop Nyamakanga. So we have a big job to do to open up the minds of the people in the rural areas. And Starlink is going to do very, very well. I'll be giving you guys updates on what we're planning. But most of it, we're going to be doing it without saying a lot. However, 2025, I'll be working on two things. That is high-speed rail, and I'll be working on giving internet to as many people in the rural areas as possible, so that we can bring our people out of the dark ages. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and I'll see you again in the morning.